Commercial worm farming. Do I want to do that? Can I make money from selling worms, worms castings, or worm bins? This is a question that many of us as worm farmers ask ourselves, right? Yes. But we are concerned about whether or not it is feasible. For some of you, you might want to do it as your main source of income, or you might do it as a supplementary income, but you just want to know, is it worth it? Is it profitable? Hi, I'm White Davy. Welcome to White Davy Garden and Worm Farm. And in today's video, we are going to be discussing whether or not starting a commercial worm farm is worth it, and so much more things that you need to consider if you're going to be starting a commercial worm farm. So for many, you're just starting out, you have your worms already, you have been worm farming for a little while, whether it's months or years. Some of you are already selling worms, but then there's more needed because you build a business. Most people, they build a business and they think, okay, I build it, so I'm going to be getting clients and this business is going to do very well. The truth of the matter is, though, do people need your worms? Absolutely. Do people need worm castings? Without a doubt. It's the best way to grow organically. Do people need worm bins? Definitely. But does that guarantee that if you start a business, you will get clients? In most cases, your clients are going to be sporadic. One sale there, a sale there, maybe a friend might refer a friend and you get a sale. But there are ways that you can actually go about your business to ensure that you get sale consistently. So one of the things that I want to talk about today is, how do you get that consistent sale? Now I'm going to tell you something that most businesses don't do, and that is one of the reasons why a lot of them will survive but they won't really thrive, because they fail to do this one very important thing, and that is deciding who they're going to be marketing their products to. Because, for example, I'm a commercial worm farmer. I'm a worm farming coach as well. Now, when I'm selling my worms, do I try to target everybody who wants to buy worms to start their worm bin, or everybody who wants to use worm castings? If you do that, you're trying to reach a very wide audience, and then you're going to find that you're going to have issues because your niche is too wide. So you need to narrow down, you need to know who you want to sell your products to. If you try to sell to everybody, you will find that you're selling to no one. But when you choose who you want to sell your products to, then you have that specific group of people and you can target them. You can target your advertising message to reach the heart of those who want your products that are in your niche, and that will bring them in. So for example, I sell worms, I sell worm castings, and I sell worm farming products like the bins and stuff. Now, for me, my targeted audience is not the same like that other person, or that person over there, or that person over there, because each of us have the people who we want to reach, and most times your clients are going to be people who have the same mindset as you do. So for example, I'm a gardener. I love growing organically, and so I target people who are gardeners who love to grow organically, but That's not where it stops. I'm someone who is very concerned about the environment. So when I'm targeting people who wants to grow organically using worm castings, I don't just target those people. I target people who are concerned about the environment, and so they're doing the worm farm in order to recycle and keep things out of the landfill, and at the same time they want to grow organically and they want to eat healthy. So those are some of my targeted audience, right? So for you, what would work in your environment? That is one of the things that you need to consider. What would work in your environment, or who are the people like you who have the same goal as you where worm farming and worm farming products are concerned? Because when you know the people that you want to target, you can form your message in such a way that these people are going to say, this person understands me. This person is just like me. I tell you something, you see, when people know that you are the same as they are, you have the same dreams, the same goals, they're more likely to buy from you than from the person down there who has a different goal. Yes, that person might be doing worm farming. Yes, that person might be growing organically. But if their goals and yours, if their reason for doing it is different from yours, then it's not so easy for you can reach them, but it's not so easy for you to reach those ones. But when you target people who have the same goals as you do, it is more likely for you to have a wider audience, because everyone who have the same goals as you are going to feel as if you understand them, because your message, your advertising, your post that you put up regarding your products, it is going to relate to the things that affect them. And when they feel understood, that builds loyalty. So they will buy from you, and sometimes depending on what it is that you're selling, maybe they only need your service once. Maybe they need it more than once. But guess what? Because they can relate to you, they are going to recommend their friends who have similar goals, and those friends are going to recommend more friends. So you want to target the people that you want to sell to. Now, what are what group of people can you sell your worms or your worm castings to, or whatever products relating to your worm farm you want to market to? What about landscaping companies? They can use the worm castings to maintain lawns, so you can target those as your audience if you're selling worm castings. What about greenhouses? What about greenhouses that grows organic foods? You can target those. What about your worms? Are you selling to fishermen? Are you selling to people who just want to have a worm farm for the garden or to recycle stuff? Target those. What about garden centers, places where you could get fertilizers and stuff like that to buy? Could you try marketing your worm castings there? Don't try to reach everyone. Choose, and you can have more than one targeted group, but don't try to reach everyone. Choose one and two groups that you know will align with you, with your goals, and then target those, and you tailor your message to reach such ones. Yes, I know sometimes we might say, oh, but if I narrow it down, maybe I won't reach this person and I won't reach that person. And we think that if our niche is broad, then we can reach more persons. But no, unfortunately, no, it doesn't work that way. You want a narrow niche, because in that narrow niche, it targets a specific group of people, but in that specific group of people can be millions of people. So think about it. If you are advertising and you are using, say, you're good at Facebook, so that's what you're using to advertise your products. Or you are a YouTuber, or maybe you are a TikTok person, whatever platform you choose to use, right? Now, if you are trying to reach everybody over there, everybody over there, everybody over here, you're gonna find yourself tiring out because you're gonna have to create a post for this group, for that group. And when I say group, I don't mean like Facebook, YouTube, and stuff. I mean like on Facebook. If you are targeting multiple niche, then or multiple target audience, you're going to find that you're going to have to create posts that appeal to that group. You're going to have to create posts that appeal to this group over here, and you're going to run out of steam. But when you have your niche dialed down to a specific audience, what you're going to find is that now you can actually focus your attention on creating those contents that is actually going to reach the heart of those whom you're trying to reach. Now, most people are emotional buyers, but then there are some people who are, what would be the term? Logical buyers. So the emotional buyers you appeal to is emotion. So, for example, maybe Jane down the road has a garden, and you know that Jane has been struggling for a long time to grow organically. The price of organic fertilizer is so high that she can't afford it, but for health reasons she wants to grow organically. So you could target her emotions and you says, have you been trying to grow organically, but you find that the cost of fertilizer, organic fertilizer, is so high that you can't afford it? Do you find that creating your own compost takes so long that to wait on it take a year or two and the growing season ends before you actually get compost? Have you ever tried worm farming? With worm farming, within the first 6 months of worm farming, you can have enough compost to look after your garden. And every month after that, depending on how successful you are at worm farming, you can harvest worm castings for your garden every single month after that. So you see, you target the emotion of that person. You look at her stress point, what she's struggling with, and then you use that to tailor your presentation to reach her heart. And then you have the logical buyer. He would say, but how much does it cost for a pound of worm? How long will it take me to produce the worm castings? How do I go about storing the worm castings? Because the logical buyer is going to be trying to cover his tracks before he actually invests. So when you're making your presentation for such ones, you could say, okay then, starting your worm farm, here are some of the benefits that you can get from the worm farm. You start and you pay, let's say a pound of worms, depending on the type or your location, is $60. $60 for a pound of worms. In 6 months from that, you can harvest your first worm castings. Every month from that, you can harvest castings. And that one investment of $60 plus the cost of your worm bin, you never have to buy worm casting or organic fertilizer again. So you appeal to the logical thinking of such persons. And when you do that, you find that that person is more likely to buy from you. Now, when you are targeting your audience will have the two group, the emotional buyer and the logical buyer. And you have to tailor your presentation to include both groups, because then you will only be earning 50% of your potential if you target just the emotional buyer or if you target just the logical buyer. So you target both when you're making your presentation. So that is one way that you can start your commercial worm farming. That's one thing you need to think about. Target your audience, create presentation that will appeal to both groups, and at the same time you want to ensure that you show genuine concern for the people who are supporting your business. Don't just sell them your products and then leave them on their own. You can call them a few weeks later and says, Jane, how are you doing? I'm just calling to see if your worms are doing okay and if you need any assistance, if you have any questions. So reach out to them, because when you do that, you're building loyalty. You're giving these people value. And when you do that, people are going to think, oh, this person doesn't just care about getting my money, they care about my success. And so that person, if they have a need to buy your products again, they're going to come directly to you. They won't go somewhere else. And in addition to that, they're going to tell their friends about you. And those friends are going to come to you because they want that experience as well. So these are just some of the things that you can do to ensure that your worm farming business is successful. Now stay tuned. I'm going to be doing more videos to help you to see how you can actually set up a worm farm and make it a profitable one, whether your goal is to replace your income or to supplement your income. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this was beneficial to you, and if you have questions, you can always leave it in the comments below, and I will get back to you. So thank you for watching, and have yourself a wonderful day. Yeah man, a time for growth.